What's up, everybody, and happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Early Edge, brought to you by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. We have a lot of picks that are born in the chat here. I see you, Steve Folkerts, Bradley Jacobs, Moshi, CID. Everyone's saying hello, good morning, and happy Stan Humphries days away from NFL season. Of course, that's from Farzad. Joe Montana days away. Joshua Cribbs days away. We're 16 away from NFL season. A ton of NFL content up on SportsLine. Go check it out right now, or at least maybe 25 minutes from now. Let's see how we did yesterday on the Monday recap screen. A pretty nice bounce back from a pretty bad Friday. We'll take 3-1. Don't forget, we had more picks. We had a lot of NFL futures on yesterday's show. That's why you only see 4 picks here. We've got more picks today, so that's good news, but we'll take 3-1 pretty much every time. I do want to remind everybody we got the early wedge tonight, but more on that later because I'm going to drop a couple of picks today, including a golf pick. Let's go ahead and bring them in. Let's bring in the stars of the show. Good morning, David Talk. Good morning, Ryan. Good morning, Buckets. Good morning, Propstarz. Good morning, Sniper. I'm very excited about this show. I'm excited that we went 3-1. Proppy and Bucket saying hi to each other. Love that. Sniper, I want to get to you in a second because I want your favorite number 16. Usually go the Chicago Bear route. Well, not usually, always. Buckets, I got to ask you because word on the street is you went 1-1 yesterday. Word on the street is it probably should have been 2-0 and probably should have been a perfect 4-0 day for us on the early edge.
It definitely should have been, and I don't want people to get frustrated with Dusan Vlahovic because we're going to bet that same play every single week. He did score in the 48th minute, taken away by VAR, and he was peppering the goal. 2 shots off the crossbar, off the woodwork as well. So it's disappointing to see Sia, but we'll bounce back. And I want to point out that we are Sergio Aguero days away from football returning. We all know the famous goal I'm talking about, Manchester City versus QPR back in 2012 here. Sergio Aguero days away. So even I'm getting excited for the football season coming back.
Propstars, go ahead.
Sounds like a baptism by fire, Sia.
Yes, indeed. It's picking up all the lingo now. Drew Martin says, see, I'm very disappointed in you. You should have played the full game under 4 runs. Why did we just take the first 5? Yeah, that was a no sweat. Nice bounce back for me. I've been a lot cold actually in MLB, if I'm being perfectly honest. We had an absolute no sweat yesterday. Happy to cash that first 5. VAR sucks, says Brad Morris. Buckets, I'm sure you agree with that, at least as it relates to yesterday. All right, Proppy, go ahead, Buckets, go ahead.
I actually have VAR sucks tattooed on my lower back. So yes, I agree with you.
I actually think that's probably true. Is that, I mean, you know what? I'm just going to move on. Propstars, we want to get to your pick, but I got to go to Sniper first. Your favorite number 16.
Yeah, I wanted to say congrats to Buckets on winning the showdown with me on Friday. I was very, very hot, but I went 0-2 on Friday, so it didn't matter which one he picked. He was going to win regardless. He took the pale hose. The White Sox, they came through for him, which they don't come through often. So it was nice that they came through for Buckets there. And favorites probably a stretch. Slim Pickens on the Bears at number 16, especially after you said Joe Montana. I feel especially dumb naming a punter, but we are Todd Sauerbrunn days away from
Hey, listen, Sniper, the more obscure the reference, the better, because a lot of these names get completely forgotten. So the Joshua Cribbs, some of the Stan Humphries, I absolutely love those. I can't believe, Bucket says he's the White Sox whisperer. I got to be honest. I think
they've won like 3 times in the past 8 weeks, and Buckets has won a showdown twice.
Yeah.
Out of those 3 wins.
It's incredible. It's not like he lost the third one. He just decided not to pick it. Moshi in the chat. Good job on your picks yesterday in the chat. Hello, Liddy. All right, Alex. Propstars. I know you got to get out of here. You got a lot of sports line responsibilities. So we're actually going to go to you first, and you're going to dip out in a few minutes. But first, we've got an MLB pick.
And speaking of the White Sox, I'm going to fade former White Sox starter Eric Fetty, who is now a member of the St. Louis Cardinals. I'm going under 17.5 outs. You can find this close to even money, which is surprising to me, considering both the matchup and the form that Fetty is in right now. He has struggled since joining the St. Louis Cardinals just prior to the trade deadline. However, I would offer that this is more likely the Eric Fetty, the real Eric Fetty, I should say, in comparison to the one who was pitching quite well for the majority of the season with the White Sox. He was a significant regression candidate, which I believe we are witnessing right now, him regressing closer to the mean as a member of the St. Louis Cardinals. Also a difficult matchup for him against the Milwaukee Brewers. They hit right-handed pitching pretty well. They also have excellent career numbers against Fetty and a pretty significant sample size as well. An OPS of over 1,000 against him. So I think this is a good spot to fade him considering how he's looked since joining the Cardinals. And it also is a daunting matchup against the Milwaukee Brewers team that's hit pretty well. So let's go under 17.5 outs or fewer than 6 innings pitched for Fetty tonight.
All right. I absolutely have no issue with that play whatsoever. If you want to take that play or any of the plays we're about to give out, including maybe a Phillies play, I see motion saying I lean Phillies and would back a Crew play. Well, the Crew is probably going to grant that wish for you, but you're going to have to stay tuned. If you want to make any of these picks, go to BetMGM. New BetMGM customers can sign up today and get up to $1,500 in bonus bets. Just take your first wager of at least $10, and you will receive up to $1,500 instantly if your bet loses with bonus code EDGE. That's bonus code EDGE, EDGE. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got to get to bucket pick. We got to get to a lot more MLB and a little bit of golf. We're going to do it after this message from our partners. We're back on the early edge. Alex, going off to bigger and better with SportsLine. Don't forget to join SportsLine. Go to sportsline.com/join. If you type in the promo code winners, you get 60% off the annual plan. This is a great time to join up because, again, early edge, it's a microcosm of the picks that the SportsLine universe offers. You're going to get so much from guys like Tom Casale and Chip Patterson during college football season. And, of course, RJ White and the Maestro, who, of course, is on here, but also all over SportsLine. All the picks on SportsLine. Don't forget, sportsline.com/join. Or, as always, you can just scan that QR code, and it'll take you right there. Promo code winners. All right, Buckets. We want to get to soccer, but I do have a suggestion from Snug the Cat before you get to your pick. I know you're trying to be an Olympic volleyball player, but maybe a Major League Baseball player. You're still young, and Snug the Cat says maybe the White Sox will sign Buckets. It can't hurt. Your response and your play.
So my response is that I was going to go the baseball route, but it seemed a little bit too easy. I want the challenge, and to be honest, baseball doesn't seem like a very challenging sport, says the guy who's never played it in his life and never will. But let's focus on the bets here today. I've got one official bet and one super secret bet that is just for the people currently watching us live, but we're going to start with the official bet. I'm looking at Copa Libertadores tonight as CA Atletico Mineiro will be taking on San Lorenzo. Atletico Mineiro is currently the 8th best team in Brazil's Serie A, while San Lorenzo plays in the Argentinian Premier Division, where they are 27th out of 28 teams. We have a gap in skill between these two sides, and we are finding a very disrespectful even money line because of that. They are currently tied 1-1 in aggregate scoring, but in that first game, Atletico Mineiro probably could have won that game 3-1 if they wanted. They had almost 80% possession of the ball and only conceded 2 shots on target. Mineiro are the way better side here, Sia. The money line is minus 175. However, the team total is plus 100. Take Mineiro over 1.5 team total at that plus 100 even money value here, because Mineiro, again, kind of like Atletico Madrid yesterday, could very well do this in the first half. Now, my secret bonus play, as we all know, I am the White Sox whisperer. I am the one who chooses when the White Sox win and when they lose it. I feel like they may not win against the San Francisco Giants tonight, but they're at least going to cover the RL, also known as the run line. Give me White Sox plus 1.5 here at plus 100. An unofficial pick here for my MLB homies out there watching live.
Sniper, before you respond, when Buckets talks like a sport outside of soccer, and I got to admit, if I talk soccer, I'd sound like this too.
Absolutely.
He sounds like Eddie Murphy from Coming to America, like explaining the game. It's like it's beautiful. The RL.
That's the thing, though. What is it? BTTS?
Yeah,
I would say it. I would say it exactly like that. If I was trying to fake like I knew soccer, I would absolutely. Yeah, I don't know any of that stuff, but that was just pretty awesome when he said the RL.
Yeah, I thought BTTS was legitimately a boy band, and I didn't get it at first. So go ahead, Buckets.
BTS. And what's the correct way to say run line? Is it just run line, or is RL like? Okay, I could just say run line.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody put in the chat before we get to my pick. Somebody put in the chat, watching buckets try to hit 100-mile-per-hour fastball would be comical.
I don't think it's hard. I really think if you gave me 5 chances against an MLB pitcher, 5 chances, I'm getting at least contact twice and at least 1 ball in play.
It's impossible. It's actually impossible. Quick story. Like I'll make this 30 seconds.
You can't act like you know when you just said you've never played.
I'll go to a batting cage tonight, Sniper. Sorry,
okay, do it. But actually, set up the tripod and film yourself, because I can tell you this real quick. I'll make this 20 seconds. This must have been like 20 years ago. I went to a batting cage for the first time. I grew up playing sports. And I find myself, or I think I'm pretty athletic, basketball, soccer, but I never played baseball. I went to a batting cage with friends, and I had this setting on like one of the lower settings. It was the first time I'd ever been in a batting cage. Again, this is a couple of decades ago, and it might have been like 60, 65 miles per hour that I was seeing the pitch. I couldn't believe how late I was swinging. Even after the first one, like the second and third one, I was like, this is going way faster than I ever anticipated. And that was just a fastball right down the middle, not a fastball, a slow ball right down the middle. So anything buckets, you won't even see it. You won't even see the ball.
He might in the batting cages, but I will say here's an interesting anecdote is I think a lot of people in the chat know that I played in college, but I actually rode the bench in college. I wasn't good enough. The first time I saw a college level slider, the thing I always say is I almost cried. Like I stepped out of the box and like, because it legitimately looks exactly like a fastball. And then it basically looks like it jumps from the point of view of the hitter. And when I first saw that, I stepped out, and I think it was like within that split second, I came to the realization like, yeah, I'm not good enough for this.
Wow. It's crazy. Yeah, we can have that discussion another time. I will transition to my baseball pick. Moshi mentioned it. I think some others in the chat might be leaning Phillies. We can get the first 5 Phillies money line. This is actually at minus 135. You can still get it at this number. Phillies first 5 money line minus 135. I just really like the matchup here. We got Zach Wheeler on the mound and Lopez on the mound for the Braves, who honestly we're going to see some regression from him. The numbers look pretty good, but obviously he had the injury stint as well. I think he's going to get not necessarily tagged, but I really like the matchup for the Phillies here. More importantly, though, we know Riley is out for the Braves. Albies is still out. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, obviously there's a hand. I mean, Acuna's out. Obviously, like you take this Austin Riley thing at a certain point. The Braves just aren't the Braves anymore. And I think especially with the Austin Riley injury, that's what we're looking at here. We get Zach Wheeler on the mound on the road, which kind of gives us a favorable number here in the first 5. I will say this minus 135 is over at DK. There are some books that have this at like minus 145, minus 148, that kind of number. I'm not going to tell you like definitely bet that, but like, I mean, there's definitely a difference there. But I like it either way. I just think Zach Wheeler is going to cruise here in the first 5. I think Lopez could get knocked around a little bit, surprisingly so. I think he could get knocked around a little bit. So give me first 5 money line minus 135. Try to see if this, at the other books, try to see if this number maybe comes down a little bit. It's possible. I don't think it's going to exceed minus 150. My other pick real quick, because I'm going to expand on this on the early wedge tonight at 7 o'clock with Eric Cohen and Patrick McDonald. So I'll be super quick here. Aaron Rye's been a money machine for me. I like him in the top 20. I was pretty bad last week. I've been good over the last couple of months, but last week I had a bad week in golf. The only saving grace for me was Aaron Rye coming through. I mentioned him on the Friday show as a live top 20 play, but I also had him pre-flop as a top 20 play. Ball striking is there. The putting is there for him over the last couple of months. This is kind of an unknown course, so I want a known quantity. That's Aaron Rye. He's been very consistent. Give me Aaron Rye top 20 at minus 120. For the BMW championship. Buckets. What do you
It's not a showdown. It's not a showdown. I've got a question followed by another secret super duper sexy buckets bonus play. Do you know who Alec Boehm is?
Yeah.
What team does he play for? Is he a Phillies player?
Yeah.
I just want to get your opinion on this real quick because I'm on MGM looking at the site, exploring some new bets here because I'm new to the MLB world. Alex Boehm's first plate appearance to end in a strikeout is plus 450. I know nothing about him, but I put $5 on that. I'm just saying.
Plus 450. I mean, you can't go wrong. It's not like he's that difficult to strike out. Reynaldo Lopez. I could see that. Yeah.
All right. That is a me and Sniper collab right there. Official. I'll make sure to tweet about it later today. Alex Boehm, first plate appearance, strikeout, plus 450.
Alec
Boehm.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yes. The first time you said Alec, so you were, 50-50.
Joseph Rackett asks Phillies -1.5. I mean, listen, it's not something I'm betting. It wouldn't shock me if that came in. I think it's a fine play at obviously plus money. I'm just going to stick with laying the juice on the first 5 money line, however. All right, Sniper. We got a couple of picks. You've got a side and a prop for us, and you have the floor.
Yeah, we'll start with a little synergy here with Propstarz here because I take the Brewers straight up to win. It's plus money. I don't think it should be plus money. The Brewers have won 10 of their last 13, and they've done it against very good competition, such as the Guardians, the Dodgers. The Brewers have been playing very well against tough teams. They have a better road record than the Cardinals have a home record. Eric Fedde on the mound for the Cardinals, 5.63 ERA since the trade. The Brewers have won all 3 of Frankie Montas' starts since acquiring him. The Cardinals are 13-21 since July 8th, the worst record in the National League in that time. And they've looked incredibly uninspiring while doing so. The offense seems pretty broken overall. Don't like Fedde on the hill. The bullpen in front of Brian Helsley, who's amazing, by the way, but the bullpen in front of him is also uninspiring. So really like the Brewers to win this one. I don't think it should be plus money. Also going to go Bobby Witt Jr. over 2.5 hits, runs, RBIs. They're at home against Tyler Anderson of the Angels. It's a left-hander. Witt has feasted on lefties. He's been unbelievable at home this year, over a 400 average with over 700 slugging at home. We know how good he's been since the All-Star break. One of the best second halves we've ever seen. In fact, if we just did the hits, runs, RBIs, he's averaging 3.92 per game. We only need over 2.5 here. We only need to get to 3. Really good matchup there for Witt Jr., as I said, against Tyler Anderson, the lefty. He's good, but Bobby Witt went 2 for 3 earlier this year against him. Getting another look at him. This time it's at home. Really, really like this spot for Bobby Witt, again, to have another one of his vintage, at this point, Bobby Witt games. And also, someone in the chat asked for a home run prop. Nick Pivetta of the Red Sox has allowed multiple home runs in each of his last 3 or 4 games? In each of his last 4 games, he's allowed 2 home runs. Right-hander in Houston. Yordan Alvarez facing a righty in Houston. I love Yordan Alvarez there, but any of the Astros, you probably can't go wrong.
Yeah, I like the play. And I'm looking at some other picks. Big Cheesy from earlier, San Francisco Giants. Buckets, San Francisco Giants. There you go. -1.5 and the over of 7.5. We got a Brewers alt line play, -1 at +136. Sniper, do you ever look at the alt lines in the -1 department? Because I've actually never made that bet. You're kind of playing the push possibility there. Okay, gotcha. And I know Bradley Jacobs dropped a couple of soccer picks in here as well. Speaking of buckets, anything we missed before we get up to the recap screen from a soccer question standpoint?
We do have some European games today, like Bodo Glimt is playing. I know Karabag is playing Dinamo Zagreb. I'd be very careful on a lot of those games because the first legs can be very tight. If I did want to bet on any of them to have goals, I would look at Bodo Glimt versus Red Star Belgrade. But overall, those are angles where I'd rather live play once we see kind of the first 20 minutes of those games.
Okay. And go ahead, Sniper.
Bradley Jacobs asked if I like Judge over 1.5 total bases. 2 things on that. One, I always like Judge to have multiple total bases if you think he's going to get any pitches to hit. But facing a lefty, if the lefty can get Juan Soto out, I don't know how much they're actually going to pitch to Judge. And if he gets walked every single time, you're not going to get there in total bases. So that's where that one's tougher for me.
All right. And we got Stephen Mack has an NRFI parlay, no run first inning parlay. Reds, Guardians, Angels. Interesting. Bradley Jacobs, Dinamo Zagreb versus Karabag, both teams to score at -145, and Bodo Glimt versus Red Star Belgrade, both teams to score -146. Felt like I did okay with the pronunciation there. Those are his 2 plays that I think he put in to the chat earlier. Thank you for all the plays. Bradley Jacobs also says, great analysis, Sniper. Thank you. All right. Absolutely love to hear that. Let's see what we got on the recap screen here. I got the Phillies first 5 money line -135 tonight. I kind of waffled on where you should play that. I mean, I think you can play it up to -150. I'd probably wait to see if maybe the number comes down just a bit, maybe a little buyback on the Braves. Maybe you can get that at -140, -145, but it is at -135 at a lot of, at some books, some major books still. Aaron Rye, top 20, -120 at the BMW Championship. A lot of people in the chat liked that bet. I think Farzad and David Talk were all over that. We're going to have way more on Aaron Rye and everybody on the early wedge tonight at 7 o'clock on this channel. Propstarz, Eric Fedde, under 17.5 ounce at -105. Buckets, Mineiro team total, CA Mineiro team total over 1.5 at +105. And the Sniper, Brewers money line +110. And Bobby Witt Jr. over 2.5 hits, runs, RBIs at even money. Ramon says, hot take, a walk should count as a base. Well, you might be right, but that would completely change the line. So you'd basically be getting the same value at the end of the day. Maybe not on guys like Aaron Judge or Juan Soto. But either way, what a great show, everybody. Thanks for all the participation in the chat. I hope when you all come in here, you hit the like button because it's really important. It's actually a lot more important on the front end than the back end. But right when you get in here, just make a note to yourself, hit the like button. It helps this show out quite a bit. It helps me out quite a bit. And we genuinely appreciate it. And we appreciate all your participation. We're so close to football season. We got football on Saturday, folks. We got college football on Saturday, and we gave out a pick yesterday. Don't forget on SportsLine via Thomas Casale. Don't forget to join SportsLine to get all of his picks. Great show. Great Tuesday. We'll see you tonight at 7 o'clock and tomorrow for this show at 10 o'clock. Thanks for being a part of it. On behalf of Sniper, on behalf of Propstarz, Buckets, Jake the Snake on the 1s and 2s and 9s and 10s. I'm the Counselor of Cash. This is the Early Edge. We rest our case.